my God! Oh my God! Truth is here! Truth! Truth is back! Truth is back! We want truth! We want truth! We want truth! You got truth!
You can't handle the truth, John Cena!
In 3, 2, 1, clap.
Huh?
Benoit balls.
I still think Kevin Sullivan did it.
I'm Aubrey Edwards. I'm not a wrestler.
Tony's quick sniffs of the week.
No, just my dickhead friends causing concussions and shit. All right, never mind.
There's barbecue sauce. So good, half the face don't work.
With Hogan that close up on the fucking camera reminds me of my racist uncle. I know you ain't listening, but you know who you are, you fucking racist.
Uncle Oh my God, for real, don't tell me that's his name. Oh, no way. I was kidding. I swear to God. That was just the first thing that came to my head. It was the first thing.
Welcome to the Top of Wrestling with your hosts ODM and the Professor.
Good wrestling day. Man, does it feel good to get got. Was it a work or not? It's the Top of Wrestling podcast. We're back, and so is our truth. And this week we got news, we got results, we got Bring It to the Table. We have the Monday Night Wars with the very last WCW installment of Great American Bash 2000. No, it's not the Bash at the Beach, the more infamous one, but we're on the way there. So we have that with the Wars, plus our top topic, what I like to call the De Niro Pesci 5. A 5-pack of just really great movies of them being together in different capacities, and I'm excited to talk about all of them. And one of them, ODM actually even watched a 3-hour fucking movie. I was impressed with that text. So, ODM, how are you today?
I've been better, but I'm here. 3.5 hours to be precise.
Yeah, I know. And you still won't watch Hateful Eight, which I think is 3.
Again, you don't know that I haven't seen it. You're just going off of what I'm telling you.
Piece of shit. I'm going to try and trick you one of these days. Maybe do a quote from it and see if I can get you to pull. And I'll know.
I'll no-sell it.
Well, all right, man. What is it? Was it a work or was it not a work on Saturday night? Our Truth comes back.
It's fun to think about it being a work. The only thing that makes me think it might be is I had mentioned that Truth said he got released, but the reports were his contract ran out. So I don't know. And I saw a tweet, and I don't know if it was real or not, but it was from, his handle is @RonKillings. And it was basically the Hogan don't work yourself into a shoot. It was like he kind of redid that. So I don't know if somebody did that just as a joke or if he actually tweeted that. I didn't check Twitter to see, but ultimately I think he just, they let his contract run out and they saw the backlash and are like, fuck it. Because I did see a report today from somewhere, and again, I don't know how much credibility it was. I saw it in passing. I didn't do my diligence, so take this with a grain of salt. But what I saw is that he wasn't really entertaining the offer to come back until Nick Khan stepped up and was like, "Yo, we'll pay you whatever." Not that they paid him whatever, but
right, no, but, dude. And there's a video. I'm not sure if you saw it. It's him looking like he's coming into that arena, or maybe for Raw today. I'm not sure which one it was, or earlier today when we recorded. And he goes, "I'm gonna save wrestling," and then he jumps up and clicks his heels. Like off to the side.
Yeah, he's done that before. Yeah.
When he was holding the title and everything at the end of Money in the Bank, I'm like, the best way if Cena's going to keep ruining wrestling, the biggest pop really would be Truth taking that title from him at some point.
The arena would melt down. The arena would melt down. Here's the thing. He doesn't even have to hold it for like more than a week.
I was going to say give him a dusty finish. Let him have that extremely
Just to
hard
get the
pop,
pop.
and like 3 minutes later, something overturns or whatever. Yes, just to get the pop once.
Yeah, it'd be cooler for him to just win it, just to, Again,
Well-
the support for him is so big.
Yeah.
It's hard to overlook at this point. Sure, you never thought of him as a world title contender, but now,
Not our truth, but I could take Ron Killings being a world champion because go back and watch his TNA stuff. He was pretty hardcore. I liked him in there. I got, and it's funny because Saturday I made my way back into town a little late doing stuff, and I also had to get up and go early on Sunday to go do stuff. But when I had some time to watch it Saturday night, I happened to end up being live randomly, and I didn't think I was going to be. I was like, well, I'm here. I'll just toss it on. And Wheezy was texting, and you said, yeah, I'm not going to be able to watch it until later. And I thought Wheezy was live, but apparently he wasn't at the end because I texted you guys. I said, I am what I am, a mark. Or I am what my name is, a mark. Because I marked the fuck out when Truth pulled off the mask. I was hoping it's exactly who it was. The crowd was already going, Truth, Truth, Truth. Like you could hear people saying it. But that immediate pop was... there's so many ways to compare to certain things. That was like AJ Styles' Royal Rumble debut or Dolph Ziggler winning the world title. There's certain pops that are just so unbelievable. Truth got it, and that was huge.
Oh, absolutely. It was everything you would hope. It's what you hope for an original pop. And again, you gotta capitalize on this.
I know.
This
Don't let it
isn't
just be
the
a
Hardys coming back.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, don't do anything like you're like, well, he's just back in the comedic role. No, this was big. You just put him into the main event picture again right there.
And it seemed like he was Ron Killings, not R-Truth.
Yes.
You can still let him do a little comedy, but have him fucking let him run with it, man.
I 100% agree. Good stuff. I have to turn the tables on one thing here. To some of you fans, y'all need to calm the fuck down. First there was Soraya's kisser, right? And she's like, okay, well, we're going to keep it to handshakes now because everybody had to ruin it, or somebody had to ruin it for everybody. Then I'm sure you heard that Liv Morgan had a stalker right outside the Performance Center recently. He was arrested and really wanted to get with her. And then Dirty Dom was threatened by a guy who actually said that he is willing to pose as a security guard and has a bag of knives for Dom. Y'all need to calm the fuck down, okay? I mean, it's entertainment.
Asuka's getting it too. She was tweeting a while back about, online messages from people, romantic ones. And don't forget Sonya Deville.
I was just going to bring up Sonya Deville because she was the one that was outside of the PC Center, and then also I think they got to her house too, didn't they?
House.
Jesus.
Yeah, they broke into her house.
Man, I mean, there's no person in this entire world, I swear to God, not one celebrity that is worth me stalking to go see. You know what I mean? There's not one person I would ever. I mean, that's people. Yeah. Ric Flair reveals he has skin cancer. Sounds like he's looking to get sympathy.
So he was fishing for sympathy, huh?
It was just funny timing. But also, no shit, he's got skin cancer. Look at him. I could have told you.
Yeah.
He had.
No shit. He's just one big walking tumor at this point.
Well, he's probably gonna have another match.
Ew.
So this man, I'm dying over here. I'm choking up from Ric Flair's cancer. No, in a match this past weekend at House of Glories, it was the Puerto Rican Fest. I think it was what they called it, or the event, something like that, or Puerto Rican Day, something. Mike Santana defended his House of Glory World Championship against Tomohiro Ishii. Match goes about 20-ish minutes. Good news, they put this for free on YouTube to see. So that was great. I was able to watch all of this. And then it was a one-on-one match for, about 20-ish minutes. And then Charles Mason, which, great name because you're very close to just Charles Manson. You're one.
I thought that's how I read it. Yeah, that's how I just read it in the notes.
100% is exactly what I did too. But he cashed in his world title contract, turned it into a triple threat, Seth Rollins style, and won. But then after, Mike Santana did a farewell speech in the ring. Lasted about 7 minutes. He's done with House of Glory. I think his contract with TNA is going to expire soon. And from what I've been reading online, I saw it with PW Insider that WWE and NXT, or Shawn Michaels especially, has high hopes for them, or like has what's the word I'm looking for? He wants them in the fucking promotion. Yeah, high expectations. Yes, thank you. He has high expectations for what Santana can bring to the ring, especially for the match he just had on last Tuesday's NXT with Trick Williams. Oh, the biggest motherfucking fuck you possible to AEW for me is Santana getting signed by WWE. That's a big one, because I can't believe they just let him, and Ortiz, I mean, they never got shit, really, and they should have. All the one that guy did is just yell in the background.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much. Yeah, and slip around in orange juice and caddy around with Jericho.
Yep. So I'm all for Santana hopefully getting signed by WWE. And Shotzi Blackheart showed up Friday night at Hood Slam, which is, the promotion that's up in Oakland, the one we've talked about several times here. All the guys like Funny Bone and all of them go up there. And then on Saturday night, she wrestled in the survival tournament for GCW, like a hardcore survival tournament. She was a part of one of the matches as well. So she made her way right back onto the indies pretty quick. Good for her.
There you go.
Good spot for her. At least, like, for now. I mean, they weren't doing shit with her in WWE. Now her name has a little more credibility to it, so she could charge more at a lot of these events.
Yeah, she can charge more for farting videos and shitting videos.
So, wife was in the background while I was watching Money in the Bank, and she goes, this El Grande Americano, she goes, that's a coffee at Starbucks. And I go, nah, I don't think so. And I go, I don't think they would just take the exact name. Well, he's El Grande Americano, but a Grande Americano is a medium-sized coffee with 2 shots of espresso, apparently.
Yes.
I didn't know this.
I knew that, but I just never put 2 and 2 together.
Yep, so now we're calling him the coffee guy. Or Starbucks guy, something.
Jesus Christ, now. We'll just call him Gable.
I did scan through. Nice. I did scan through Worlds Collide. The intro was good. You had Lillian Garcia sing both national anthems, which I thought was kind of cool. The crowd fucking loves her. Conan was on commentary with Corey Graves. Conan's not good on commentary. I'm sorry. He's like, Graves is like, oh my God, isn't that great? He's like, yeah, Josh, that's just how he does it, man. Like, he's just like real chill. And I was like,
God, there's like no excitement. Weed beforehand?
Yeah, probably. Like, even when he was talking about, which everybody else is, Mr. Iguana, he was like, yeah, that little pet there, that's his favorite thing. Like, he's like real just low key. I'm probably not doing as the justice of him, but it was not amazing.
Not the old school K-Dog that we're used to.
Thank you. Hey, nothing was body, rowdy, or an olale. Not one olale.
Yeah, not one olale.
But on that show, it opened up with Octagon Jr., who is Kalisto, who used to be in WWE. Aerostar and Mr. Iguana, they defeated the LWO and Lince Dorado. Mr. Iguana, as everybody knows, has just, besides Truth, he's the other one that's taken the internet by storm. I hated Triple H's comments. I think all kids everywhere are going to want an iguana now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no shit. Way to go, Vince. I mean, Triple H. Yeah, I didn't see too much of the match or him wrestling his persona, the way he looks, though. Obviously, he's already over from that alone. The one thing that bothered me, because this was some AEW old school Kenny Omega bullshit, where whoever from the LWO did like the Spanish flea to the stuffed iguana.
Yes.
Knock that shit off. I mean, it's Mexico, I guess, so You know?
Well, that's what I was going to say. That's the difference, though. Mexico eats that shit up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, those things are pretty big. So
it's funny, too, because Mexicans actually eat iguana, too, so...
There's all the reason to give it a DDT.
There you go.
Actually, and I skipped over something. Not only was Lillian Garcia singing, Shawn Michaels is in the ring with the general manager, president of AAA. I mentioned her WrestleMania weekend when they announced that AAA was there, and I go, there's this lady there with, this wig, and she was there again, and I love the internet. Whoever took Sean's, or put it on Sean's head instead. Good job. Good shit.
That's fantastic.
Stephanie, but after that match, Dirty Dom gets in there after that 6-man tag with Iguana and Kalisto, Octagon Jr. He jumps Octagon. He says, Rey Mysterio's your favorite, huh? And he goes, you and me tonight, Money in the Bank. And you know what? And I am putting this on the line. And I was like, it seems very undom-like to offer up a championship match just to anybody.
Yeah.
So it made it a 5-man card, or a 5-match card within an hour or two of the show. And everybody's like, 4 matches? Fuck this for Money in the Bank. And I even said that to you. I go, I'm not even pretend I'm excited for this thing.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I just happened to be home. And I was like, well, I'll put it on. I mean, I'm not going to act like I wouldn't be interested to see if anything happens. But into the rest of this pay-per-view, you had Legado del Fantasma, 6-man tag, whatever. Stephanie Vacure and Lola Vice defeated Dialysis and Chick Tormenta. What is it, Dales?
I think it's Dallas.
Okay. I know we talked about this last week.
Yeah, Delise.
But we need to stop doing the Devil's Kiss.
It
is the dumbest fucking move. I hate it. I hate it so much. And this one, they did a double Devil's Kiss. I will say, shout out to the Vacure. She wrestled Friday night on SmackDown at Worlds Collide and then competed in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Good shit.
Yep.
Good for you. And Chad Gable obviously pulled double duty. The Fatal 4-Way match with Ethan Page defeating Rey Fenix, Javon Evans, and Laredo Kid. He defended his North American title. It was okay. But... you know how I always have my on-running doc of my personal favorite runners up or contenders for match of the year, right? Well, El Hijo de Vikingo, I'm actually getting his name on this one. It was a good show with Chad Gable. They put on a fucking good match. Chad showed that he is the modern day Kurt Angle. Goes out there and has the greatest matches with everybody. He had good ones with Gunther. He's had good ones with Penta. Now this. If you get a chance to watch anything from that pay-per-view or that play, check out the main event. AAA Mega Championship. Vikingo did defeat him, but it was good match.
Nice.
I liked it better than him facing Kenny Omega. Because him and Kenny Omega, it was just spot for spot. Chad Gable is bringing wrestling into it. And it made me like Vikingo just a little bit more now because all I knew him as was a jumping trampoline. But now... showing that he had a wrestling match with someone too, I'm in.
There you go. Wasn't that match with Omega the one where Vikingo missed the spot and he had to stop, and he stopped and went and did it again?
Yes. Oh my God, I forgot about that. Holy shit. No, like he didn't even miss it. He went up, got on the rope, and then came back down, went back up, and did it again. Yeah. Oh my God.
He's like, I didn't like that take. Can we do it again?
We're live, pal. So, Money in the Bank, a couple hours later, obviously. Worlds Collide, I didn't watch that live. I only watched Money in the Bank live. But in order, the Money in the Bank went with Naomi winning the first match and defeating Rhea Ripley, Stephanie Vacure, Roxanne Perez, Giulia, and Alexa Bliss.
Why?
I like it. I kind of like it. I think they're trying to make her their push. Well, it's either they're really behind her in a push for a heel, or it's like, well, we've exhausted everybody else in all the Bloodline family. How about his wife, Jimmy's wife?
Yeah, no. I don't. She's the vet. She's been a world champion before. She's in this lame ass storyline with Bianca and Jade. Why? I don't see her vying for the world title. And I've never been a huge Naomi fan to begin with. Her in-ring work is just.
But who did
meh.
we call? We called what? I think we said Vicur?
No, Perez.
So, I mean, I don't know. But then the fucking Devil's Kiss where Rhea is down on the mat, or standing on the mat, and Vicur brings her up with her head, with her legs, to a ladder to do the Devil's Kiss. It's just, I'm fucking over that. And I get it. It's like,
No.
Booker T loves it. He's like, oh, bouncing cake. Get it, man. But, like, stop doing the fucking move.
Yeah.
It's like the X-Pac's
Bronco Buster.
Bronco Buster. After a while, I'm like, I get it, man. You're putting your dick in someone's face. It's really cool. Same with Rikishi putting...
Knock it off. Yeah.
Knock it off. The next match was Lyra, Valkyra. Actually, no. I take that back. The next match was Dirty Dom defending the title and retaining against Octagon Jr., which, again, Kalisto. He actually botched in the match. Oh, God, which was amazing. Lyra Valkyra lost her title to Becky Lynch, and if Becky won, she had to show her respect as the champion, put the title on her. If Lyra won, she would never go for the IC title again. Well, that don't work for me, brother. I want the title. So she won.
Yeah.
And
shock face.
Yes. Yeah, that one we both called. That one, so what happened is Lyra, put the belt on her, shook her hand, and then Becky wanted her to do more. And because she was embarrassing her so much, Lyra then just, did a German suplex and whatever. But the Birds of War lost her title. The men's Money in the Bank match. We did call it. We were right. It was Seth Rollins. However, I had every ounce in me that was just like, come on, anything else, please. Just give me anything else. In this match, not only had it 6 competitors, it had 5 other guys. It had Braun Breaker, Jeff Cobb, Bronson Reed, Jacob Fatu, and I think someone else was in there as well. Just so many people getting involved in this match. Solo definitely was the funniest part of the match. Like when at the very beginning, I forgot who he knocked out or was out of the ring, and then he turned and looked over. He's like, "Hey guys, what's up?" and looks to do like the fist bump with all 3 of them, and they all jump him. His facial expressions and his acting has grown on me.
Yeah,
just a little bit.
Friday he did.
Go ahead.
He did the Penta Walk, too.
He did. That was the other one. That made me laugh.
That's fucking great.
He's funny. And I didn't think he was going to be that funny because he was always just real stiff and quiet in the background. You know what I mean? But they're giving him room to shine. On SmackDown, Jacob Fatu happened to be eavesdropping, and where Solo had said to Jeff Cobb or JC Mateo, Jacob Fatu is all gas, no brains. And Fatu is right there in the background. Fatu came in and wrecked house. It was amazing in this match. He had a moment that like the crowd was just losing their shit, and I was like, "Run up and take the fucking briefcase. Just do it. I don't care if they're gonna let him do it or not. Just do it." And he clears the path for Solo. As soon as he started doing it, I go, "This is the turn. This is the fucking turn," and he did, and it was great. Solo's facial expressions again, looking down like, what? Everybody lost their mind. It was great. And then Seth Rollins won the fucking match. Did you
LA
see...
Knight has lost 3 Money in the Banks in a row.
Oh, well, that's... We know where he's at now, staying completely at the mid-card level. His part killed me. He did a very shitty slingshot for Chad Gable, or Americano, to go up that ladder, to get onto another ladder that Seth Rollins just happened to be holding the bottom, so he can step over to the other ladder to get to Penta. I was like, oh, it was just a bad-looking spot on camera. I would have rather, like, they didn't show the first part where LA Knight tried to get him up there, and he, like, just climbed over LA Knight. But the other part, did you see where after Chad Americano hit Andrade with the ladder on the outside in the entranceway, and he goes to drop the ladder, and it lands right on Andrade's dick. And I saw a thing of it, and it said, "This completely sums up both of Andrade's runs in AEW."
Yeah.
No, not in WWE.
Not in AEW. Yeah.
Oh, it was fantastic. Yes, it was a okay thing, and then obviously we've already talked about it. Cena and Paul versus Rhodes and Uso. The latter won the match after Truth came in. Hated the part where Logan Paul had that flying drone come to him. And I'm like, he's not the one controlling it, so why would someone go, yeah, here, let me hand it to you? I fucking hate Logan Paul. That's really what it comes down to.
Yep. That's gimmick infringement, too. It's like a Vanguard 1 shit.
Ooh, I like that. Delete. So, in recent injury news, Rebel, you remember her? She used to be a part of that crew with Saraya and Reba.
Rebel.
Yeah. She has been out. She actually had a tumor and a surgery done. So, but she's. I was wondering where she was. Actually, that sounds really stupid. But at one point, I was like, I wonder where she's been. In contract news, I've been seeing in a couple of different sources that Karrion Kross may be letting his contract expire. This one, I'm not sure if it's a work or not. I mean, in that documentary I sent you, he said, I'm a soldier, no matter what, through and through. So I don't think he's going to leave, but I really want them to do something with him. But I feel like I say that weekly here, and nothing's happening.
Well, yeah, and it's weird because the R-Truth stuff, but Karrion Kross week to week is doing the same thing, and he's getting nothing.
It kills me because at least put him in the Money in the Bank ladder match and let Seth win. I'd have been fine with that. You could have taken Penta out, and I would have been fine with her or anybody else, and just give him some form of hope so that the crowd could have cheered the shit out of him. To show you how over he is.
Yeah.
So, it's that favorite time, a little pick-me-up. It's TK's Quick Sniffs of the Week. So last week, they did a 4-hour Dynamite with not much to really write home about, I swear to God. And so they're going to do it again tonight. It's their summer blockbuster, and it's Swerve versus Ospreay, the second match. I don't remember the first. And then it's the contract signing for a title versus title match, which on Wednesday we found out after Omega won his 4-way international championship match. Okada, of course, it makes it exactly what we said, the Intercontinental Championship. They're going to go at it at All In Texas. That I called. Like, the moment Omega came back and won that title. So, yeah, another 4-hour blockbuster tonight. Enjoy that. But also, man, Britt Baker has been off TV since November of 2024. She is our newest Ricky Saints. I'm not saying she's a great wrestler, but she can talk and finally got, like, her, she cut her teeth and was really ready to go. And now, because she has admitted that the company doesn't really care creatively, well, they just put her to the side and don't do anything with her. She's the recent Ricky Saints. She needs to get out of there and go do something else.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. No, she doesn't. She's a dentist. She's doing fine for herself. She might, and that's the thing. That might be what happens, right? That contract expires. She may not give a shit about wrestling. She may just be like, you know what? It was a thing I did. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I had my moment in the sun. I'm done. I'll make enough money being a dentist. You don't think so?
I don't believe it.
All right. Well, we'll see.
She didn't come this far to come this far. You're welcome.
Yeah, no. Boo.
So I told you that Mike Santana lost his TNA title match against Trick Williams, and it's because AJ Francis, Flop Dalla, made his way back into NXT and cost him the match.
Oh, God, I didn't even think about that. He's back in WWE, technically.
Give or take. I didn't care for him then. Don't care for him now.
Nope.
All right, man. Well, wow, only 20 minutes out. That's pretty good, man. Let's go to the fucking table.
Just bring it, bitch! Oh my God!
So a couple weeks back was my wife's birthday, and for her birthday, her sister got her a ticket for us to go to the Avett Brothers, which was this past Friday night, at Beacon Skiff, which is in Lafayette. It's a cider place where they make the 1911 drinks. All those ciders. Yeah. And it's funny because they have a merchandise store. But here's the deal, and we saw this online ahead of time. At the merchandise store, if you buy any of the 1911 drinks, you can't have them in the concert. But once you're inside that place where the merch store is, you can't leave. So you can't go bring it to your car. You have to leave it at the merch store. But you have to come get it 45 minutes before the concert ends because that's what time they close. So I'm like, so you're going to miss...
What kind of bullshit is that?
Right? So
just say you can't buy it if you're going to the concert.
Well, that's the whole point, is just don't buy fucking booze when you're in there. You can get the shirt, the hat, this, that, but you can't go in with the booze. And it's the worst fucking thing I'd ever read. I was laughing. But all night, because the place is called the Beacon Skiff, I just kept doing Charlie's thing from It's Always Sunny. The chicken... Beak. Yes, the chicken. Frank always makes me eat the beak first, and I kind of want to have it last, you know, if I'm going to have it at all. Beak! Beak! So I did keep doing that high-pitched beak all night, just fucking around. Good show, man. They played a lot of hits, actually. Not hits, more like deeper tracks rather than all the newest album. Last time I saw them, it was a lot of new album shit, and I was like, it's okay. This is a pretty good show.
Nice. Yeah. Very cool.
But one other thing, there was a person near us that made me laugh that had it this... you don't watch SNL, but Kristen Wiig has a character on there called the Target Lady, and she has this real high-pitched voice. And I didn't think it was real, but it was fucking real when the lady was behind me talking, and she's like, Hank, did you know that there's a thing up there called 1911? And I was like, is someone doing an impersonation of Kristen Wiig's thing? And she's like, and I look back, and it was just this big country bumpkin fat lady that she had like 4 teeth. And she was like, and she's like, do you think we should get some? And I was like, holy shit. It was just, I love it. Yeah, it made me laugh. I made out with her. All right, what did you do?
So last weekend, or this past weekend, was my wife's birthday.
Oh, that's right.
What was it? So Money in the Bank I didn't watch because we were out doing shit. We went to Fairport Canal Days, walked around there, and all of a sudden I hear this voice, and I go, hey, don't I know you? And it was Michelle. Dave and Michelle.
Dave is Michelle. No shit.
Yeah. They were there at a booth for Oktoberfest. They're very big into Oktoberfest, and I mean like down to the culture, because Dave was in full lederhosen and the whole fucking outfit.
Really? I thought you were gonna say they had a booth set up for like Bibles and shit, because didn't.
No, that would have been the other one. So that was interesting, and it was one of those weird things where they were spent from just being there all day, and we were walking around. I was like, all right, cool seeing you. All right, I'll talk to you later. So we did that, and then Webster, they had it was called the summer celebration. They had a. You right there?
No, I just thought Oktoberfest, huh? Well, see you later.
Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
Big gulps. Yeah, so there was a Zac Brown tribute band there.
I've seen them.
Didn't clear for the country music. They did play like what did they play? I think they played Enter Sandman, and they played something else. They were whatever.
Yeah.
But they were doing fireworks, and Mama loves fireworks. Loves fireworks, right? So, but we got some food from a food truck, and we're like, we've got like another hour to kill. We don't have any chairs. Like there's nothing really to do other than sit here and wait. They didn't sell beer.
Oh, I was like, drink.
Or anything. So I was like, listen, it's right around the corner from our house. I asked the lady, I said, what time do the fireworks start? She said 10. They ended up starting at 9:45, but we were there. So ran home real quick. I threw on some jeans, got a hoodie because I was freezing my balls off. I grabbed a couple beers and threw them in a cooler. I only ended up drinking one, and we headed back. One thing that I did, though, was I decided, let me just take half a gummy real quick. So we get the cart and the chairs, and we mosey on back, same spot we were, and we set up our chairs, and it was kind of cool because, and it was weird because the Zach Brown tribute band, they have the guy with the violin or the fiddle or whatever, and they started playing the national anthem, and we had our backs to the stage. We were looking at where the fireworks were being set off from, and this one guy, he immediately gets up, takes off his hat. I'm like, fuck, I have to do that.
Oh, I
This
hate
asshole's
that.
looking right at me.
I hate it because I always, no matter what, if I wear a hat, my hair will look like shit. Look at right now. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
You see what we got going here?
Yeah.
What's that?
No, yeah. You look like CM Punk.
Oh, go fuck yourself. No, but you see how it looks like shitty bedhead?
Right, yep.
I hate at like a ball game or something like that. And I'm like, fuck, I got to take this thing off.
Yeah, it was dark, so it wasn't bad. So we ended up doing that. But it's funny. It was cool because it led right into the fireworks.
Nice.
So that was
I've
cool.
actually seen that violin player play the Top Gun theme.
Oh, no shit. That's pretty funny.
And the crowd was going nuts. He's a good fucking fiddle player. I like him.
Yeah, well, he sucked on Devil Went Down to Georgia. They did not do a very good job of that.
How does he suck on Devil Went Down to Georgia? He should not be sucking. The fiddle player should. He's got.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was not good.
That sucks.
It was not good.
Wow. All right. Anyway, so
But
the gummy, did they kick in during the fireworks?
So here's the thing. Okay, so we were about 100 yards, I would guess. Probably about 300 feet, somewhere around there, from where they were launching them off.
Oh shit, that close.
Never really thought about the impact of the gummy. Figured it just kind of, it all came at once, and it was crazy because it was pretty fucking close, and it was loud as fuck. Because Vinny could, we're probably like a mile from the house. Vinny messages, he's like, I almost shit myself when the fireworks went off. He's like, I can kind of see them from the house. They're going off right over us.
Did any debris fall on you at all?
It was a little bit, a little schmutz. But it was insane. It was so crazy. I was like, this wasn't a good idea. Like, I was flinching and shit.
It brought me back to Vietnam, and I wasn't even in the war.
Exactly. And then the worst part was, I was like, oh my God, I got to get out of this parking lot.
Oh, man.
And I was freaking out. I'm like, it's because there's people everywhere, and you're trying not to hit anybody. I'm like, just get me out, just get me out, just get me out. And then on the way out, there's a fucking douchebag in front of me in a Jeep blasting shit music just so his bass could boom. And then the asshole behind me in his truck with the fucking 2 million lumen headlights blinding me. So I got shit music in front of me and blinded and behind me. So what a shit show that was. But yeah, that was, that
nice.
one. That was crazy.
It
turned on me.
So when I went to go to the Avett Brothers show, I actually stopped at the Syracuse local dispensary because I had never been to that. I wanted to see what they had. And they had a thing called the Cheese and Chong. And it was like their strongest pre-roll. And I was like, okay, all right. And I was like, I want something to kick me in the boo-boo while I'm on the way into the show. And I ended up, and it's funny because they're like, all right, well, we're going to get ready to go in. I go, oh, okay, all right. So I take that one and I all the way to the head. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, all right, we're all ready? Yeah. And I look down at my phone. I go, yo, it's 6:09. The fucking pre-show girl, who we don't even know, starts at 7. Avets don't go out until 8 o'clock. Why are we going in? And they go, oh, shit. Oh, maybe we don't need to right now. And I go, I just wasted the good joint on you guys. But no, we had but that was the other thing is everybody brought it was a bring your own beer if we're gonna hang out in the parking lot. A dude parked behind us over in a fucking Cybertruck, and all I wanted to do was just go rip off the panel because I know they're made of glue and plastic. But anyway, so everybody's pulling out drinks, and they go, "What did you get?" And I go, 1911s, and I go, because I'm not buying them in there, and I'm gonna drink them out here. But those are good ones, man.
Stick it to the man.
They're like 7%ers. 2, really?
Wow,
Did 2
there
kick
you
you pretty quick?
Yeah, if you're a pussy.
And then they sold them all on the show. So that was the only thing I had in there, too. It was a lot of 1911s. It's a lot of sugar.
Yeah? Well, diabetic now?
Feel like one. Well, It is time to go to the year 2000 in June, where WCW is putting on one amazingly awful pay-per-view called the Great American Bash. Let's hit it.
Monday Night Wars!
All right, we're looking in the backstage area, and the Nature Boy Ric Flair's arrived with his second consecutive night. His entire career is on the line tonight against Vince Russo in a retirement match. What plan does Russo have for Ric Flair and his entire family here tonight live?
It's the Great American Bash 2000. It was on June 11th, which happens to be today, I believe. And not only that, this pay-per-view, after watching this, it's a fucking precursor to the next pay-per-view, to be honest with you. It's just like the cards are lining up at how bad everything is going. Not even to mention the title's changing hands. The title changing hands so many times already, but this pay-per-view is comedically bad.
It is, and next is Bash, and after Bash is New Blood Rising, where we get an infamous match and a return of somebody.
Wait, is New Blood Rising where Sid breaks his ankle?
No, that's 2001, I think. Early 2001, I thought it was.
Huh. I guess leave me on a hanger, because I don't know what that is then.
You sure? Okay.
Right. No, I don't know. I mean, an infamous match? New Blood Rising.
Oh, yeah. It's one of the ones that we've talked about before. We haven't gotten there.
Vampiro?
It hasn't happened yet. Nope.
Name one wrestler in it.
I believe it's Canyon.
Triple Cage? I don't know. Huh. Okay. Oh, shit. Is it Judy Bagwell?
Yup.
Oh, my God. I see why you didn't say Bagwell, because I would have went right to it, but it just took it, and I was like, wait, that hasn't happened. Okay, now I'm excited. All right, cool. At least
and Arquette comes back for that, I think.
Oh, Jesus. Yep, precursor.
Well, we're in Baltimore. We have the cops waiting at the arena for Goldberg. We open up with Lieutenant Loco, a.k.a. Chavo, versus Disco Dicknuts for the Cruiserweight title. We see an old man dressed like General Patton come out. You may remember a while ago that randomly during a match, Hugh Morris's dad escaped the fucking nursing home and just started showing up randomly for matches. Well, he's back, dressed as General Patton. Yeah, well, he takes a bump from Conan and plays dead on the floor. Chavo retains. There's a brawl post match. This is already a shit show from the get-go. And Major Guns, because her gimmick is giving ugly and old people mouth-to-mouth, rips her shirt off and gives Pops mouth-to-mouth.
Well, gives me something to look forward to when I get older.
There you go. Bischoff and Kat are in the locker room with the police. Cop tells Bischoff he has nothing to worry about except the booking. And Bischoff has a surprise for Nash tonight. You like that?
It was a quick little slip in. I almost thought that it was real. They said that. I was like, no, they didn't.
He didn't say that. Bischoff has a surprise for Nash tonight. Next, you get Gene with the Mama Lukes. They're facing Chronic for the #1 contenders for the tag titles. And apparently on Thunder, Vito was gifted the hardcore title from Bischoff. I don't know. Great. So Mama Luke's versus Chronic. Vito wrestles the start of the match wearing the title. Like he wears the title 5 minutes into the fucking match. I think Bryan Adams finally rips it off. I'm like, what are you doing, you fucking clown? Chronic wins. Next, you have Shane Douglas versus The Wall in a tables match. But it's not just any tables match. You have to put your opponent through 5 tables to win. Great.
Just call it a hardcore match. What the fuck? Because you're sitting there keeping track. It's
The Wall has completely changed his look. He's dyed his hair and beard black. No longer wearing the dress shirt that's sleeveless.
Yep.
This was also a shit show. Douglas wins. Hogan arrives to the arena. He's in his full Hollywood Hogan regalia. And next, the match of the night, you get Tank Abbott versus Scott Steiner in an Asylum match for the U.S. title. The match starts, and then the announcer says, well, Bischoff and Russo have rules that since the Asylum is Scott Steiner's specialty match, Rick Steiner's also going to be in the match, and it's going to be 2-on-1. Great. And Scott Steiner wins anyway. And I said this was match of the night because after this, we're halfway through the pay-per-view. So there's good. We see Flair and family arrive in the limo, including Charlotte and Reed. They're still separate at this point. And then we yet again see the Goldberg monster truck in the background.
So you're buying into what I said.
We'll see.
You just said at this point.
Here. I know, yeah. Kidman versus Hogan is next. Horace is the ref. If Hogan loses, he retires. If Hogan wins, he gets the title shot at Bash at the Beach. Tori comes to the ring, pulls out the brass knuckles, gives them to Hogan. Kidman ends up bumping Hogan into Tori, who goes to the floor. Kidman gets the knuckles, but he KOs Horace because Russo. And then Tori low blows Kidman right before he can hit Hogan with the knuckles. Hogan wins. And apparently him and Horace are cool again.
This was the only match I knew the result for, based on Bash at the Beach. When they said the winner of this match gets it, I was like, well, I know who wins this one.
Mm-hmm. Bischoff's on the phone with somebody freaking out. Next you get Ric Flair versus David Flair with Daphne and Russo. Great. We see Flair's family being escorted to their ringside seats. And I saw a sign. Reed is my favorite Flair.
What the fuck? How old is he right now at this time?
Oh, God. Like 10? 12? I don't fucking know.
That's the weirdest sign I'm going to say so far of everything that we've seen.
Cum Dog is up there, too, still.
I like that one. No, that's a really good one. I'm still mad we couldn't make it an episode name.
Is that what you call Nathan's hot dogs? Cum Dogs?
Come here, dog.
David has a Nitro shirt with the Union Jack on it. I have no fucking clue why. Couldn't tell you. Russo ends up attacking Ric Flair with a bat, then handcuffs him. Reed jumps the barricade. Russo just shoves him to the floor. So Reed nut shots Russo and gets the handcuff keys. Ashley, who is Charlotte, jumps the barricade. She handcuffs Russo. Rick wins, chops Russo post-match. Rick's family gets in the ring to celebrate. And as soon as his family gets in the ring, Rick leaves. Like, they all get in the ring, and then Rick just bounces.
You guys stay here. Daddy's got to go get a drink.
Right. David gets the mic. Russo starts running down Ric Flair. Says, you and those little bitch kids, you've chopped Russo for the last time, and tomorrow night, I'm going to retire you, Rick. Okay. Next is Vampiro versus Sting in a Human Torch match. I didn't make that up to be cute or clever or funny. That's actually what they're calling this. This is how Shivani referenced it. Sting is on the scaffolding that surrounds the entranceway, right? Mm-hmm. He's standing up there, and he has like an Olympic-style torch. And he asks Vampiro, are you afraid of heights? Well, you're going to have to come up here to torch me. Great. No, Sting just repels anyway. Apparently, you have to get up to the top of the scaffolding to get the torch to set the other guy on fire.
Why didn't you just grab it while he was there?
I don't know. So anyway, he repels down so they can make their way back up to the top later. And then the lights start flickering. And it's basically so they can pull the switcheroo.
Yep.
That's the whole thing. So Sting gets light lit on fire, and then it's great because he literally just jumps off the top of the scaffolding right into a crash pad. I thought this was WCW, not AEW.
And that's where they're learning some of their stuff, remember?
And the best part is, commentary is just way overselling the humanity of all this. Oh my God, I can't believe it. They lit him on fire. How could they? This is a wrestling match. Why could you do that?
We saw this 2 years
Shivani's
ago
all
with Kane,
exasperated.
so we're not really that shocked, man.
Yeah,
at this point, you know
exactly.
what I mean?
And it was actually Kane too. That's the other thing. So it was great though when we did spot him putting like the fireproofing gel on him.
And then so it's like, yeah, it's Sting again, yeah.
Sting and Stang. Paula Polshock is with Russo. Wants to know what the surprise is. Bischoff says there is no big surprise. That's the surprise. Sure.
Thanks, Tony Khan.
Main event.
That's where Tony gets it.
Yeah,
I got a big
right?
special announcement, guys. Tonight, we're having Dynamite on for 5 extra minutes. Boom.
Mm-hmm. There it is. Nash versus Jeff Jarrett for the world title. Cat comes to the ramp after Jeff Jarrett and Nash are in the ring, and he says, "May I please have your attention, please? Allow myself to introduce myself." And he says he has celebrities to introduce. The bell ringer is what he says. The bell ringer is going to be K-Dog. The timekeeper is Ray. The belt keeper is Disco. And Hoovy is an announcer. The cat is the enforcer / ref. Because Russo. As if the animals weren't enough, Abbott and Rick Steiner interfere. Scott comes in, fights off with Abbott. Then the Goldberg monster truck enters the arena. Goldberg comes in the ring, and he spears Nash. Tells Jarrett to cover him. Jarrett retains. Russo and Bischoff come to the ring looking pissed off, and then they just hug Goldberg and celebrate, and the fans start throwing their drinks at the ring. I don't fucking blame them.
I, again, gave up on WCW when I was a kid. Like, at certain times. I, just glanced over to see what was going on, but I never knew that fucking Goldberg turned heel. I never knew that at all.
Mm-hmm. Why would you? It was that forgettable.
Well, I put it up there with John Cena.
Sure.
Sorry, the edible kicked in over here.
Yeah, all right. Let's go to Nitro.
After these messages,
we'll be right back.
There is a spider. It's deep in my soul. He's lived here for years. He just won't let go. He's laying around. He's got a mean bite. Now he's ready to fight. And stand up for what he knows. I don't need your trophy, so you go. I just want to tell you all, go fuck yourself.
He's spitting at them. Is that the sign? It's correct. Spit! Spit!
Hey, you! Oh, what is wrong with you people? Get out of here!
Hashtag not a sponsor.
Okay. June 12th, 2000. I'm going to say this right now. I have this in my notes somewhere, but I'm just going to say it now. This is quite possibly the worst Nitro I've ever seen. Quite possibly.
Yep. Yes.
It is fucking abysmal. We're in Richmond, Virginia, so we're in Flair country. Limo arrives. It's Russo, Bischoff, and Goldberg. We cut to commentary. Scott Hudson is wearing a tie and no shirt. The reason is because when Russo got chopped by Flair and Russo's shirt came off, Hudson clowned him, saying hopefully we don't have to see Russo's bare chest again. And Hudson's punishment is having to go shirtless.
Pointless.
Pointless, yeah. So we're already off and running. Bischoff and Russo come to the ring. Bischoff says Goldberg is sick of the fans. He says, I was there for Bill Goldberg before he was Goldberg. Bill Goldberg. Bill Goldberg.
Didn't I just send you that the other day? That interview?
Was it you or was it Lil Jon that sent it? I thought it was Lil Jon that sent it.
No, it was me.
Oh, okay.
Because it was fucking, and then Mean Gene's like, he's just Goldberg now. He's like, yeah, well, Bill Goldberg. It's, you know what? It's just like the I'm not your bro. Okay, bro.
Yeah.
Nobody calls him just Goldberg. You call him whatever you fuck you want.
Goldberg signed a deal with the devil. They get what they want. I get what I want. And I got 2 words for you. Fear this. Then Nash's music hits. He comes to the ramp. And he goes, that's about all the shit I can listen to. Fans are sick of your shit, too. You don't even know who made you. This company's giving you everything on a silver platter. Sting, Scott Hall, Hogan, Flair, Nash. Those people made Goldberg. I had plans tonight, but I got one thing to do before I leave the building. I'm not leaving until your blood's on my hands. Nash fights through the cops on his way to the ring, but he eventually gets swarmed and cuffed. And Russo says, I want him released into my custody later because he's going to be facing Goldberg tonight. Everybody was swearing. They were just going, and it's fucked up because Russo, when he's cutting the promo on Nash, he says, tonight I want ratings. I'm looking for big ratings tonight. The shit showery of this episode shows you he wanted ratings, had no fucking clue how to do it, though.
Yep. The one thing I will say is Nash was spot on with what he said to Goldberg, at least that. Because you know that these are not scripted promos. They're like, yeah, go out there and, we provoke Goldberg or whatever, and we're going to get you arrested. He's like, yeah, I got it. Motherfucker, we made you. And he has said that in all of his shoot interviews later in life. So that was real. That was Nash speaking as Nash. That was awesome.
Especially around this time, he definitely is just letting it go, right? He doesn't give a shit.
Oh, my God. Dude, you can see him phoning it in. But he's still there, and he's like, I'm getting the paycheck. What the fuck?
He's still one of the best. Unfortunately, he's one of the best people on the roster at this point.
With 5 moves.
Exactly. Hey, nice looking sidewalk slam.
And the fucking hair flips one of them.
Yeah, exactly. Walking over the top rope is the second. Jeff Jarrett sees Kat in the back, and Jarrett doesn't want to wait until Bash. He wants Hogan tonight, so he puts Kat in charge of doing it. Kat is apparently the commissioner now. Okay. We see Nash being put in a cop car. Russo's there running him down. We see some random kid just standing by the cop car. And then Russo starts running the kid down. Then Scott Steiner comes in all hyped up and chases Russo out. It is Hunter, Kevin Nash's nephew.
Great name. There's no way that wasn't a plant in some ways.
Oh, again, who knows? It might have been Hunter. It could have been. Who knows? The Mamalukes are supposed to be having a match, apparently. And Johnny the Bull apparently has the shits. You can hear him. He's like, oh, maybe it was this thing that I ate. So Vito locks him in the locker room, throws the key away, and then when Vito turns the corner, Terry Funk hits him with a garbage can. And they eventually make it to the ring, and apparently they're having a hardcore title match. There's a sign spotting. F you, Dad. Didn't we have one about somebody's mom like a month ago or something too?
Yes, but that's a good one. F you, Dad.
I gotta find this real quick. Because it'll take me 2 seconds. Because there was the one about the mom. Hi, Mom, you asshole.
Oh, that's right. Did you separate if it was Raw or Nitro where the sign was, or you just put it in one column?
Nah, I just put it in there.
That's fine, because I was like, it'd be great if that was a trend going in WCW that we didn't know, signs like that.
Vito retains. Funk no-sells. He no-sells getting pinned. He just gets up. He grabs the title and he tosses it to Vito, shakes his hand. Vito raises his hand. Funk walks away and Vito attacks him. Hooray. Cat's looking for Hogan. Vampiro is talking to Darth Sidious. There's just some guy in a fucking hood saying there's more souls to claim. And Vampiro says, we had a deal. This is over. What in the actual fuck is happening? Where did this fucking guy come from?
Is Dustin bringing back a different version of 7?
Good. I know, right? Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Steiner's with Nash's nephew, and Nash says, hey, Scotty, take care of him tonight, all right? Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Let Scott Steiner keep an eye on the kid. Nothing could go wrong there, right?
I have so many things I could say, and I don't know which to start with. So
yeah, no. Shane Douglas comes to the ring. Douglas says, "My partner who was exiled from WCW is back, and tonight we kick ass and take names." It's Buff Bagwell.
Now I'm excited.
Buff calls out Chronic for reasons. They have a match and Chronic wins. Buff and Douglas argue post-match. They appear to make up, and then Shane Douglas jumps them. Next, we see the Cat talking with Dillinger, saying he's looking for Hogan. And then Gene's with Kidman. And Kidman's like, Gene's telling Kidman about the title match tonight. Kidman's like, well, they're going to need a special ref, huh? And then just walks away. No, they don't need a special ref. Any ref would probably do, but we see where we're going here, so thanks for nothing.
Great interview.
Not as good as the next one. Because we get a press conference with Paisley and the artist formerly known as Prince Iaukea. And the announcement is he will now be known as the artist. Who fucking cares?
Right? Motherfucker, I didn't even know you still work here.
I know, right? The best part is Paisley starts freaking out. And Captain Erection's old man comes crawling from underneath the table saying, I was just looking for some pie. And then he actually pulls up a pie, and Iaukea, or the artist, shoves them over the table. At this point, I wrote, I'm done, and I walked away for a few minutes.
Well, and speaking of done, I just want to tell you, hopefully, we're going to be able to finish this podcast recording with each other. I might not be done. I just heard a thunder, and it's already starting to pour right now, so it's dark as fuck. All right, let's move on. Let's go.
It probably is what just moved through here, so it didn't last very long. I think you'll be all right.
I usually say on Saturday nights. Well,
pull out. MIA comes to the ring. Gramps is with them. Just let it go. Just let it go. MIA comes to the ring with Gramps. Captain Erection calls out the artist, so Chavo faces the artist. And then Major Guns kicks Paisley in the twat. Chavo wins. Nice. Russo is with like 4 girls saying, if he wants this, do this. So then he brings the girls over to Goldberg. He's like, hey, Goldberg, I got you a special. Oh, get them out of here. I don't want them here. Why?
Why? Maybe that's not what he's interested in.
I guess not.
Hey, it took 2 full Pee Wee docs to find out what was Paul Rubens was really like, so maybe this is kind of the same thing. The Goldberg doc could come out. I didn't want to be called Bill Goldberg. I didn't want to be called Bro. I wanted to dance. Sorry, move on.
Maybe. Hogan arrives at the arena, and Kat tells him, hey, man, I got you your title shot tonight. And then Jarrett blindsides Hogan with a heat shot with the guitar, and then the camera pans over, and Horace is just randomly laying there. Russo and David Flair to the ring, and Russo says, from father to son, I am proud of your performance last night, and I want the fans to show you respect. I'm sick and tired of being everybody's punching bag lately. And it ends with Ric Flair. Rick comes to the ring. Russo starts crying. Hudson says, Russo's having an aneurysm. So am I from watching this shit.
Ditto.
Rick tells David to come home, and Rick says if he beats Russo tonight, Russo retires and Rick becomes the boss, and then I'm going to shave your head. If I die, I retire. Russo asks, well, what about a trim? And Flair's like, come again? We talking just like a trim in the back? Come again? He had to repeat himself like 3-4 fucking times.
Come again?
Yeah. And then Flair says, I'm going to shave Russo's head, then his ass. Okay. And Russo says you're on, but it's going to be a handicap match, and it's going to be me and David. And Rick says, I'll grab Reed and we'll fight. Fuck my life. Next, you get Jeff Jarrett versus Hulk Hogan, or Hollywood Hogan, I'm sorry, for the world title. Kidman is the ref, as we expected. Jarrett says he wants a new opponent for the Bash, because he's assuming Hogan's not going to make it to the ring after getting hit with the heat shot. But he does. His head's still bleeding. Yeah, you're bleeding.
And then Goldberg and Russo are watching from the top of the ramp. Goldberg heads down. They're teasing that Kidman is getting in between Hogan and Goldberg to try to stop him. So Kidman eats the spear, and then Hogan eats the spear. Russo slides the table in the ring. Hogan gets jackhammered through the table, and then for reasons, G.I. Bro makes the save. DDP comes to the ring. He's got a lemon in his hand. Because after this, he's going to have a beer. And he likes lemon in his beer. Not making a joke. That's what he said.
Just awful.
People have always been saying, I can't do it. He calls out Bischoff, whose music immediately hits. Bischoff comes out with Kimberly and Canyon, but Bischoff's mic isn't working. And DDP basically quits and just leaves through the crowd. Vampiro comes to the ring. I set another human being on fire, and I have no remorse. And then he has a match against the Kiss Demon. And Vampiro climbs up on the scaffolding, jumps down, hits a double axe handle. Both guys go down, and they just cut to the back.
So no one's on fire. Okay. You lied.
Yeah, there's that. Scott Steiner and one of the ladies head to the ring, and the other broad stays back to watch Nash's nephew.
The other broad?
I know one's called Medeja. I don't know which one Medeja is.
I got you. That's where we're at. We're not even going to bother with names on this at this point.
Not for them, no. Tits 1 and Tits 2. DDP's music hits again, but this time it's Canyon and Kimberly. Kimberly says that DDP just quit the wrestling business and she has a new cologne for women at $395 a bottle. Scott Steiner comes to the ring and says, tell me who hasn't been with that, and it got bleeped. Skank, slut, I mean, I'm sure it was something.
Hoe bag.
Yeah, probably.
Which is funny because
Scott
you're trying to do this crash type TV that he likes or whatever, and they're saying that over on WWE. I mean, already Chris Jericho's called Stephanie a bottom feeding trash bag hoe. Mm-hmm. What the fuck did you just bleep that Steiner couldn't say?
Yep. Who the fuck?
Fuck doll? Maybe he said fuck doll.
Oh, maybe. I mean, it's Scott Steiner, so I wouldn't.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, maybe he went off the rail.
Yeah. So Scott Steiner has a match with Canyon. We get a ref bump. Mike Awesome comes in. The Chronic makes the save, and Miss Hancock confronts Kimberly. Great. Steiner cuts a promo on Bischoff and Russo. He's freaking out, and the broad lost Nash's nephew. He was just here. So next you get Russo and David Flair versus Ric Flair. Russo uses the bat, no DQ. Reed makes the save, but David cuts him off. Russo tells Beth to bring her cute little ass to the ring. R&B security come down. Russo gives Beth the Statue of Liberty to use on Rick. She doesn't. Charlotte comes in. Somebody throws the towel in, and then they shave Rick's head, and then they shave Reed's head.
Poor Reed.
Don't worry, he'll be absorbed soon.
That'll be the worst thing that'll ever happen to him.
Until, never mind.
Yeah.
So the main event is Nash versus Goldberg.
Thank
Goldberg is escorted to the ring by the New Blood. Russo comes to the ring with Hunter. He's going to make him watch Uncle Kev get beaten up. Scott Steiner comes to the ring. The cops beat him like Rodney King, and that's it.
Beat him like Rodney King, that's it.
I wish that could be the fucking episode name. Beat him like Rodney King, and that's it. Jesus Christ. Okay.
After these messages,
we'll be right back.
Good morning, Philadelphia. I'm Crazy Patty, and I'm coming to you from Patty's Pub, telling you to come on down. We're slashing prices so low, you won't need a pot of gold to get sloppy. So come on down to Patty's. It's insane.
What is that?
Did you like that?
No, that's not what YouTube videos are like.
Oh, that's a great character.
No, that's like a bad commercial you'd see like on a cable network or something.
Maybe you didn't get it. I'm crazy because I'm pricing the beer too low.
I think I got it.
The beer's too low for what average beer prices.
All right, you know what? Let's just do it again. Maybe throw in some more jokes or something. You know,
Here.
Make it a little
Make it
funnier.
funnier.
Yeah,
You're absolutely right.
You can make it funny. You're a funny girl.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, Philadelphia. I'm Crazy Pat. Oh my God!
Now that was funny. Dude, that's awesome.
Why would you do that?
That's what YouTube video is. You ever see the little girl who's mashing the grapes and then slips and she's like,
Why would you do that, Charlie?
That's what people want to see.
Oh my God.
People getting injured or seriously hurt. That's funny, okay? Let's just do this. Trust me, this is what gets hits on YouTube.
All right, are you ready?
Yeah,
Stop
I was
talking.
ready from the...
Stop talking. I'm crazy Patty.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm crazy Patty.
What are you doing? You're flinching every time now.
I'm sorry. I can't concentrate when I'm about to get blasted in the face with a ball.
I'll blast you all over if you flinch again.
Yeah,
Let's just
don't-
do this. Let's just do this. Action.
Oh, God damn! God damn!
Hashtag not a sponsor.
Well, things won't be as bad for Raw. There's still some Attitude Era-esque stuff going on, but let's get to it. Raw's in St. Louis, Missouri. Rock comes to the ring. He tells Taker, Kane, and Triple H to just bring it. Kane comes out first, and he says, "Consider it brought." I actually kind of liked that. I thought that was funny. Then Taker comes out, and then Linda McMahon comes out. So what are you guys thinking? You look like you guys are going to tear each other limb from limb. The faction is in the back laughing at you. You've got to be united for at least the next 2 weeks. Until King of the Ring, you guys need to join forces. And we hear No Chance in Hell. The regime comes to the ramp. Says, "Linda, maybe you think you're Mother Teresa or a modern-day Joan of Arc or an attractive Janet Reno." I think Lawler goes, "That can't exist." Vince says, "You are a truly meddlesome, goody-two-shoes, castrating shrew of a wife." And what exactly did you mean by joining forces? So, at King of the Ring, Linda says, it's going to be Taker, Kane, and Rock versus Triple H, Shane, and Vince. Vince says they accept, and then Linda says, "Tonight, Triple H is going to defend the title against an opponent of my choosing, and Stephanie's going to defend her title against Lita. And in that match, for Stephanie's defense, if any member of the faction interferes, Steph will be DQ'd and lose the title. And one final announcement. Tonight, Shane and Vince will be in action in a tag match against the Dudleys in a tables match." Cut back from break. Linda's heading to the limo. Stephanie and Triple H confront her. Triple H is trying to kiss her ass. Just wants to know who the opponent is. And Linda says, "You'll find out in due time. And Steph, you better hurry up. You're up next." Next, you get a King of the Ring tournament match. It's X-Pac with Road Dogg and Tori versus Dean Malenko, who's still palling her around with the hose.
Good man.
X-Pac wins with interference from Cum Dog. Next, you get Stephanie McMahon.
Take a second.
It's Stephanie McMahon versus Lita for the women's world title. Stephanie cuts a promo pre-match complaining about having to defend the title. Steph takes a bump to the floor, fakes a knee injury. The ref's tending to her. Meanwhile, Kurt Angle slides in and hits an angle slam to Lita because Attitude Era. But he's not part of the faction, so
which is beginning
no
this extra budding summer romance I forgot all about that leads into SummerSlam and all that shit.
And Stephanie hugs Angle, and Triple H is watching in the back, not too happy.
Yep.
So there you go. We see the regime skulking about outside Kane's locker room. Triple H has a bat in his hand, and they storm, hit Kane in the head with the bat, and with Kane's back to the camera, they pull his mask off, and they take a picture of Kane's exposed face, and they all leave.
I didn't remember that, to be honest with you, that they did that.
Me neither. Yeah, because it's not till 2003.
Yeah, with RVD.
Yep, there you go. Let's see. All right, Too Cool versus TNA with Trish for the tag titles. Val Venus interferes. It's a DQ. Rikishi makes the save. Vince and Shane versus the Dudleys in a tables match. DX makes the save. Vince and Bubba took a nasty bump to the floor from the top buckle. They basically were setting up Vince for the power bomb through the table. But when DX made the save, they both just fell to the floor. I mean, it looked good. I'm guessing they knew what they were doing, but yeah, it looked rough. And DX put the Dudleys through the table. There you go. Next, we see Triple H and the Stooges with Bull Buchanan in the parking garage. It says, "Yeah, man, Taker had a match tonight. He was supposed to face you, but, Taker said you're not in his league. Oh, look, there's his bike. The keys are in it. You should take it." So Bull Buchanan just rides off on Undertaker's bike. And Undertaker says, "Well, fuck that," and carjacks somebody and steals their car and goes to chase after him.
You guys watching Russo's
Meanwhile,
product?
Pretty much. Well, keeping that trend going. Right as soon as Taker leaves in the car that he stole, Crash jumps the Stooges in the garage. Come back from break, and Crash is chasing Briscoe to the ring, and they have a hardcore title match. Patterson eventually joins, and he hits Briscoe by mistake with the garbage can, and Crash wins the hardcore title and scampers off. And JR says, Elroy wins!
Elroy.
Briscoe's pissed, but the Stooges make up. Next, you get Triple H versus for the world title. It's Chris Jericho. Stephanie causes a distraction. Jericho hits a lion salt, but no count. Leads to a ref bump. Locks in the walls. Stephanie tries to slap Jericho. He blocks it. Starts to lock the walls on Stephanie, but Triple H hits a title shot to Jericho. Pedigree. Triple H retains. Or as I wrote it, Quadruple H. We see Kane in the locker room freaking out about having his picture taken. And we get Benoit versus Matt Hardy for the IC title. Benoit wins, won't let go of the crippler. Jeff makes the save. But Benoit attacks Jeff with the title. Edge and Christian are watching from the back, and Christian says, it would really be unethical for you to assist me in my King of the Ring match tonight. And Edge goes, so you want me to help? Yeah, of course. Let's go. So you get Christian versus Jeff Hardy in a King of the Ring match. Edge gets tied up with Matt, and Jeff is able to pull off the win. We get some footage from Heat. We see that Bubba Ray Dudley and Saturn have both advanced in the King of the Ring tournament. Faction comes to the ring, says, we've won all our matches tonight, and if Kane doesn't destroy The Rock, we're going to show pictures of Kane's face. Kane sees that on the monitor from the back and just breaks down the locker room door. So we go to our main event match. It's Kane versus The Rock, and mid-match, GTV just shows up on the Tron, because that's apparently still a thing.
It's like
I had no idea it went this long.
I don't think it really was supposed to. Everybody says it died off at that one spot, but it's intermittently coming back. Every 6 months we get one for no reason. It's we couldn't do a whole promo. Let's just say security footage got it. Let's just do that.
Pretty much. So it's Patterson and Briscoe. Patterson's apologizing for the hardcore match earlier, and Briscoe's like, well, let's take a look at this picture. And, because back in the day, you actually had to go get film developed, and, you get your pictures. So he pulls it out of the envelope, and he starts freaking out. There's no picture. Blames it on the Canadian film. So Kane is like, well, where's my motivation to beat the shit out of The Rock now? And Briscoe says, let's not tell Mr. McMahon. And the best part is Rock and Kane look at each other like, I guess we don't have to wrestle anymore. And as they're kind of backing the Faction up the ramp, Taker comes in on his bike. Faction is trapped. Dudley's come out too. Faces clean house. Kane and Taker chokeslam Triple H through a table. Good night, folks.
Way more enjoyable than both the Bash, Great American Bash and Nitro combined.
Yeah.
That was a rough watch.
It was. Dude, honestly, I almost gave up.
It's almost
on that Nitro.
It's just only getting worse, man.
Bad.
Yep. You wanted to do this project.
Yeah.
See what happens when you do too much Nitro?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it helps. All right, man. It's time to wrap it up. The final topic of the week is our movie of the week. Dude. All right. I know it was your first time seeing the one of the movies, but I assume you had already seen the other four long before we put this topic together. But we are doing the De Niro Pesci 5-pack. So, do you want to go in order as to what we see it here on the page? Just fuck it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
That works for me. And I'll be honest, I'm going to bust your balls a little bit on the first one, because first one we're going to talk about.
I know.
One of them's only in it for 2 minutes.
I get it, but it was our only chance to really break down this movie as well, or not break down, but at least talk about it. So I I tossed it in there. Was there another one you would have added? Because I don't think there's any other ones that would have been worth it with them together.
There is, but I think they're shit.
That's why I put this one in here. That was my point.
Yeah, definitely.
But yes.
Well, the other fucked up thing is all of them are Scorsese films except for A Bronx Tale.
All right. Well, fuck me. So, all right, it's the De Niro Pesci 4-pack. All right, we'll just breeze over Bronx Tale. You talked about it recently where Sonny was the real Carollo in real life. But, yeah, they don't really even have any interaction together in this. I don't know why I put that one in there. So it's the 4-pack.
Well, it's a good movie, and you know what? It prompted me to rewatch it because I hadn't seen it in a long time. And the fucked up thing is it's been such a long time since I've seen this movie, I forgot about how circular the story is.
With...
Right?
Which part?
So it starts off where, you know, C is talking about growing up in the Bronx, right? And, you know, doo-wop is very popular, and he starts talking about Sonny, and he talks about the first time Sonny looked at him. You know, he's been imitating him, he's been watching him, but he talks about the first time. So basically there's a dispute over a parking spot.
I can't do Frankie coffee cake.
Yeah, his face.
The parking spot.
There's like
right.
a fight. Yeah, and the guy starts smashing in a windshield, and apparently it's a friend of Sonny's.
Right.
Because Sonny just fucking blasts this guy.
Oh, you didn't remember this coming full circle? This part?
Yes.
Oh wow. Oh, this is that's like the most like memorable.
So, right. So then that all happens, and at the end, Sonny gets whacked, and it's not by a rival gang member. It's by the kid of the guy he killed over that dispute. So they do the funeral, and C doesn't want, he's like the last one staying with Sonny's body, and that's where Pesci comes in, and Pesci's the one that was getting beat on in the car.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's an interesting thing, and one of my favorite parts is because when C gets to know Sonny, he asks him, "Was that really over a parking spot?" And he goes, "You'll understand when you get older."
Yep.
Right, and that's when C was still a kid. So now he's older, and Pesci, he asks Pesci, he goes, "Was that really over a parking spot?" And Pesci just goes, "No." And that's it.
I know.
That's all you get. It's fucking great.
I know. It was, I like it, and I just watched it maybe a couple of weeks ago myself. I forgot how much it makes me laugh when he finally starts kissing Jane. And then she's like, "That's not a kiss. This is a kiss." She kisses him. And then he backs up. He goes, "Do you want to make sauce?" For macaroni. just fucking guy. The racism is fucking ridiculously good. But it was real.
But I mean,
it's
real. Unfortunately, yeah.
It always, when I hear "This Is a Man's World," I always think of that scene. The flaming cocktails, and then always the doo-wop group singing that "I Only Have Eyes for You," but then you don't hear the song until the shabab until he finally kisses her. I thought it was a cool build-up with the music in that. I thought, and here's a question. What the fuck happened to the mom? All of a sudden, C had a mom, everything was fine. He grows up, you only see the father. You don't even hear dick about if the mom was alive, dead, left him, anything. Just, mom was gone.
Yeah, she's busy cooking fucking pasta.
All right, on to one that I think we've... Oh, by the way, all right, so A Bronx Tale, I know we used, not as a topic to talk about, but we used it as the quotes, which, how I remember, is your promo, because it's the big head tells the little head what to do, the whole De Niro thing talking to his son. And you did that as who?
Finn Balor. Sometimes the big head tells the little head what. I can't. It was better the first time.
Oh God, that's great. So then into one that I think this is one that we did quotes for, but we never talked about like as itself, and that's Goodfellas. This is the very first one that I saw. Nope, I take that back. Holy shit, actually, 100% in order of how we're doing this is how I've actually seen him in my life. Bronx Tale was first. Then I saw Goodfellas. I mean, what's not to say? Everybody's talked about it. Everybody's seen it. There's so many iconic scenes. You and I talk about it all the time. The hoof. We brought that up a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, this is a classic. We've quoted it. We've talked about it. What else is there to say? This one's a nice dynamic from the next one because in this one, they're pals to the end.
Yep.
Right? So...
To the point where he breaks up a fucking phone booth finding out that he got whacked.
And that's a really cool perspective. It's a scene that lasted all of, 5 seconds, but to see De Niro be this fucking ruthless, tough guy gangster and just break down. Even for a short while.
It's funny because we'll talk about... by the way, spoilers for all these guys. Has anybody listening to this shit? When we talk about the last one, it's kind of somewhat of the same thing. When Pesci walks in, when I was a kid, I kind of didn't understand. And I was a kid when I saw this, however old I was. When I first saw Goodfellas, when he got in, he goes, "Oh, no." I'm like... How did he know? Oh, no. I'm like, I don't get it. And it didn't take me until years later to understand the empty fucking room. Like, there's nothing fucking going on here, man. There's no one here. It looks like it's a house, and it's just fucking empty. And it took me time to understand that as a kid. What are you doing? Fucking put the coffee pot down. That fucking scene
You said take it to go.
Frankie, I'm kidding. Again, one of my favorite things of all time. I think it's just a very small little joke. I'm not sure if it was meant to happen. And if it did, they did a great job with it. Maury's wigs doesn't come off, but when he was fucking choking him with the phone cord, his hairpiece comes off. And Rob Lowe's laugh looks like it's so real. Like, shit. Not Rob Lowe, Ray Liotta. Ray Liotta. Fuck, I got the name wrong. Yeah, no, I don't know why I even said Rob Lowe. That was weird. I get people mixed up sometimes. It
happens, man. It happens to the best of us.
MIA Clown to you is the most common one everybody, quotes and laughs at. But storyline-wise, God, I mean, it's funny how, like, the wife, how much she wants to be with him, stays with him forever. Except in the end, didn't she leave him or some shit like that, I think it said? Didn't,
Karen?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at My Blue Heaven.
Oh, My Blue Heaven. Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
But the part where, like, she's like, I was in love with him for everything, hides the gun after he beats the guy's fucking face in.
Right.
But then gets on top of him with the same fucking gun and has it to his head because he's cheating on her. Good movie, man. I love it.
The whore and 6B.
Hello, do you know you have a tenant that's a whore?
Let's also not forget that this has one of the greatest one-shots in film history.
Yes, the going to the dinner where going through the kitchen and all that shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a good one. I like that one. He gave everybody 100. I'm in construction.
Yeah. Your hands don't feel like they're in construction.
With the union.
I'm a union rep.
So it's funny because how good of friends that Pesci and De Niro are in this one, in Goodfellas. They begin that way in the next one, which is Casino. This one, I watched on a plane ride like 5-6 years ago for the first time.
Oh, wow.
On like a work trip. And I was in an aisle seat, and I probably should have thought better, but also the plane offered it as an option. Like, the stuff that was going on in it, like, even, like, Pesci banging Sharon Stone. I'm like, I don't know who's sitting behind me, but fuck, I'm watching the movie, whatever. So, yeah, you bring Sharon Stone into this, and you also have what's his name? It's the school name in... Family Guy. What's the Sharon Stone's ex-husband or boyfriend in Casino?
James Woods.
James Woods.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Ed Woods.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Yeah. So he's the pimp, the card shark, and so the question is, was he always just manipulating her from behind, that being Sharon Stone, or was it always a duo of them together the whole time, and the whole long run was to fuck over De Niro?
No, I think no. I think it was she just kept going back to him because he was able to lure her in. So no, he was definitely manipulating her. Manipulating her, but she had some kind of, she was almost like Stockholm syndrome.
Okay, yes,
you know what I mean?
All right, that makes some sense. Yeah, I mean, she called him wedding night. The fucking man, when she tied up her daughter to the bed, I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And then he goes to the restaurant, and Pesci's like, be nice.
Yeah.
Don't be a fuck. Don't make a fuck out of me. All right, so Pesci in this is, I think, better gangster badass than he was in Goodfellas. Nicky Santoro.
Yeah, he was pretty ruthless in this one, stealing, robbing people's houses, turning the pictures down so they wouldn't be looking at him.
Yep. But, like, he's at that place. You ain't got my money? I'm going to put your face through that little fucking hole there. Then you wore cowboy boots? You call my friend a maggot? And then hits him with the fucking phone? But then let's not forget, if you don't have my money, I'm going to come down to the bank and I'm going to split your head wide fucking open. And if you don't, and then I'm going to be there when you get out of the coma. Because I'm fucking stupid. We've quoted that many times. That's why I think this is one of his... I think this is one of my favorite Joe Pesci roles, to be honest with you.
Yeah. It's definitely a good one. I still like, because, when I did one of the recordings with Wheezy, and he went through, pick one, and he did Goodfellas Casino, and I immediately said Goodfellas. You know what I mean?
But Casino to me, I think they're just on both different levels.
They are. There's definitely a different dynamic with this one, right? Because it's not just... it is still a gangster movie, but the casino environment kind of, and the Sharon Stone thing adds a whole different dynamic to it.
And do you think that De Niro dies just by the opener? They show him getting in his car and it blows up.
Right.
And then they basically go back, right? A Tarantino it or whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah.
And it ends up he didn't die in that thing. So my point being is like it was a good little twist. I like how they did that. Mm-hmm. Obviously Scorsese kills it in all of his movies with the soundtrack. Like House of Rising Sun was playing when Sharon Stone dies. I remember it very well. It's perfect. The fucking beating when they turned on Nicky Santoro, which is Joe Pesci, with the baseball bats out in the cornfield. And his brother. What was crazy was how he was the narrator at that part. Mm-hmm. Talking into that part, and then as soon as he got hit, he stopped talking, and you hear him go, "Ugh!" And that's it. That was a cool little fucking screenwriting twist. I loved how they did that.
Catches you off guard.
It does, because you weren't expecting it, like especially while he's talking. And just the fucking beating they do to him and his brother. It's hard to watch. That was another part that I was like, I don't know who's sitting behind me right now, but this is brutal for me to watch.
Yeah. Well, especially because you keep saying he's still breathing. He's still breathing. Oh, they buried him alive. Yeah.
Oh man.
It's fucked up, man. It's fucking creepy. What about the time when because his brother owns the sandwich restaurant?
Spit in the Cobb sandwich.
He's gonna take that choke on it, you fucking pig. And then his brother brings the girls in. Pesci sees the one that he wants, grabs her by the hand, brings her out to the car. He's talking about their milk-fed veal. They get in the car, and he just grabs her by the head and just shoves her head
And she
down.
goes, but it's funny. He's like, a lot of people don't know about the veal. You got to get the good kind. But what? Yeah, scoot on over. Anyway, so yeah, no, I get that coming in from all things. And then as she's just going down, man, I think that's the most hysterical thing. Like, he just looks right at her and goes, yeah, I'm going to show her around. We'll be right back. What do you say? I was going to show her the kitchen or something?
Something like that, yeah. Right out to the car.
I've never tried that. I'm not going to be able to now.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
I want you to talk about the next one. I feel like I've talked about a lot of them, because then I want you to take the last one a little bit yourself before I finish it. So talk about Raging Bull.
Yeah, Raging Bull is one of, I don't think it's Scorsese's first movie, but it's one of his earlier ones. It's actually in black and white. Mm-hmm. And it is about the boxer Jake LaMotta. And Pesci, I believe, plays
Jake's brother.
His brother?
Jake's brother.
Yeah, his brother. And Kathy Moriarty's in it. She plays Jake LaMotta's wife, who's his cousin.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're like second cousins or something. And it's basically just about his life. Of all these movies, it's probably going to be the toughest one to watch. This is a critically acclaimed movie, don't get me wrong. It's just, of all the movies, it's a slower pace. It's a lot of dialogue, and it's just about the relationships between everybody, and it's just how Jake's career just took, a bunch of wrong turns and just where he is at the end of his life. So yeah, this one may not be, the easiest out of all these to watch, but it's definitely up there on the list of his movies, of his big marquee movies. So yeah, basically he's a boxer. He loses his first match, and then he has some mafia connections. And it's actually the guy who plays Billy Bats in Goodfellas. And and all him from all those fucking movies.
He's the one that beat Mickey with the bat in Casino.
Yep. So his wife, it was 15 when he met him. And it just goes over that. And this is another one.
Are we talking
where,
about Great Balls of Fire,
they don't
Jerry Lee Lewis movie?
No, but it's almost the same thing. Almost the same thing. So yeah, and the other thing too is Jake and his brother end up falling apart, falling out with each other. So you got that aspect. This is a more stripped down movie.
It is.
You don't get a lot of the glitz and glamour that you do with Goodfellas and Casino.
It's raw.
And
that's
that.
why I like this one, because it's them in a different light completely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, it definitely you should watch it if you haven't seen it. Just don't expect it to be action.
Oh yeah, no,
it's
is
thoughtful. It's provoking.
Yeah, and one quotable thing from it is the not an animal. He's like getting all upset, and I remember that.
Yeah, De Niro does do a good job with the voice acting, and for the older scenes, they did a lot of prosthetic work. Which is really good, because if you look at pictures of De Niro in costume and Jake LaMotta,
very
close.
And then it's funny because they didn't have the CGI or the makeup that we had in the last movie, which is Irishman, because they made De Niro look pretty fucking young. And when I saw that, I go, why couldn't we do that to Jesse Pinkman in Better Call Saul? It bothered me so fucking much.
Or El Camino, where Todd is like 500 pounds.
Well, that
heavier.
I don't know how much he needed to slim down, but I think he was in another role, in eating a lot of roles. The Irishman. So I'm gonna preface what the movie's about, then I will ask you your opinion because it was your first time seeing it. This is based around mostly Jimmy Hoffa, the what's the goddamn, what are they called with the union?
Labor union.
No, but what was the Teamsters?
Teamsters, yeah.
But De Niro gets hooked up with him because he, it begins as like a truck driver, and that's where he meets Pesci, and ends up, he goes from being a truck driver to delivering free steaks to guys out of the back of his truck who own restaurants. Next thing you know, he's talking to Hoffa on the phone, and he is Hoffa's right-hand man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much I want to give away, because that sounds really stupid because of the Jimmy Hoffa story. It's a fucking, but how much of this is, I'm actually curious how much of it is real. Like that guy Pro, was he a real guy that Hoffa dealt with?
Yeah. Provenzano.
Okay.
Yeah, Provenzano.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is a true story. It's actually based off of Frank Sheeran's book. Frank Sheeran is the Irishman.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, it's based off of his book. I think the book is called "So You Paint Houses."
Yep. Right. Which is one of the very first things Hoffa says to him when he talks to him on the phone. I hear you paint houses.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
I love El Pacino. Yeah, man. So a lot of the story is true. So the thing is that a lot of stuff that Frank Sheeran has admitted to before he passed away, a lot of people think that it's bullshit.
That he just threw out a lot of bullshit.
Well, that it doesn't add up. Like there's other info that's okay. So like one of the things that happens is Sheeran in the movie kills Crazy Joe Gallo.
who is played by Sebastian Maniscalco, the comedian, which I love him. He's talking to Joe Pesci. Get the fuck out of here.
So accounts of that story vary. Some people say there were 4 people there. The cool thing is that the way De Niro breaks it down, he's got like 8 guns, 10 guns on the bed, and he starts talking about, all right, you need 2 guns. All right? You need a loud one, and he starts eliminating which ones he's not going to use. And, then they have the scene. So there's that, and then a lot of people say he didn't kill Hoffa, but...
I do love that scene, because when he's like... He goes, sometimes you gotta go in the bathroom, make sure nobody's in there. Plus, maybe you gotta go to the bathroom, But I already went, and a job like this, you just want to get in and out. I love the fucking commentary from De Niro throughout this whole thing. And you shoot the guard in the arm. You got no beef with him. We don't want to kill him.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. That was good. I love the ending was kind of sad, just because they're all in jail together, and Pesci, he's like. Pesci's character, Buffalino, big time mob boss. There, he's like, where are you going? He's like, I'm going to church, and he looks at him like, you're going to church? He's like, yeah, you laugh, you'll see. And then he ended up dying, and you're seeing Frank go through his final days. Who was it? That was Action Bronson. Was the guy that worked at the coffin place. You know who Action Bronson is? Rapper. Sounds just like Ghostface Killer, big fat white dude. Okay, anyway. No. All right, anyway. He was in it, though. But no, so a lot of the stuff is... They talk about...
It was sad in that one scene in prison because they like to eat bread and dip it in wine.
In wine, yeah.
But now in prison, they're having way shittier kind of bread, but it's they're dipping it in grape juice.
Right.
And then he goes, I can't have it in my teeth. And he's like real old. They made him look old as shit in this movie.
Yeah, they did a great job with that. They did a really good job with Pesci on that one. I'm trying to think what other aspects. They talk about how the mob got JFK elected. Talked about all that shit. They were referencing like, current events. Bobby Kennedy was going after Hoffa. There was one part where they were talking about the back and forth of them going after each other, and Hoffa's wife got fired from her job of like 35 years, and she gets in the car, and she's looking at the ignition like she doesn't want to start it because she knows about fucking getting car bombed. Yep. And she has like a flashback to a car bomb, and she just turns the key, nothing happens, and she just lets out that breath like, oh shit. One of the things that I love that, Scorsese's always been a little quirky like Tarantino with the method of how he films things and how he puts stuff on. And you would get introduced to different characters and they'd freeze frame it and it would be like, Anthony Provenzano shot in the head 3 times, 1981.
Told you how many times, or everybody, like, how their death was. Awesome. Really cool. The one guy, Bugs. The guy with the big fucking bottle cap glasses, who like kills like that one guy from behind in the car.
Yes,
I love his interaction. So I got 2 scenes that are my favorite.
Okay.
The first is Jimmy on his way to what he doesn't realize, but his son driving the car. The whole fucking fish thing. What kind of fish was it that you got? And he goes, I don't know. It was a fish. And he goes, you didn't say it's a fucking cod, a fucking salmon, a fucking this. He just keeps growing. He goes, you just said I want a fish. And, yeah, pretty much. And it's Todd from El Camino in Breaking Bad. So I love that whole fucking thing. And then when Pacino gets in the car and he looks at Bugs, he goes, can you even see out of those things? And he goes, I can't see a fucking thing. He goes, I'm glad you're not driving. But the best scene in the movie, I think, is when Pacino and De Niro, so Frank and Hoffa, are sitting there waiting for Pro to show up. And he's like,
oh my God.
He's like 15 minutes late. He goes, he's saying something. He's saying, fuck you. That's what he's saying. And De Niro's trying to calm him down. Then he gets there wearing a summer shirt and like the Charlie Harper special from 2.5 Men, the shorts, and he goes, you wear a suit in Florida? You wear that to a meeting? Like they're bickering room into each other, the whole thing, and then the whole fight in prison. I said, you people, what the fuck? What do you want from me? And he's like, there was a slur involved. There was a slur. And I'm like, but was it? I'm like, he said, what is it with you people? I actually thought when he said it in that time, when I watched that scene the first time, when he was in jail and he goes, Minga, what is it with you people? I thought he meant all the union people who are coming to him asking for the money. I didn't take it as a slur, but he obviously took it that way. But the whole 10 minutes is too long. 12 minutes right down the middle where De Niro and the other guy are trying to like play peacemaker. That's my favorite fucking scene in that movie. I've watched it so many times. That's a good one. So
that is definitely a good one.
Overall, what is your take of Irishman?
It was a good movie. And you know what? The 3.5 hours, it didn't seem that long. I think I probably paused it here and there, so that is a little bit different. But I liked it. It definitely has that Scorsese vibe. You've got the narration from De Niro, which kind of gives you that familiar vibe. There was a lot of bouncing around. There's a lot of characters to keep track of, but it's not that difficult.
Sure.
And it's just, and once you see Hoffa, you start realizing, wow, there's actually a lot of truth to this, or at least it's based on some historical evidence, right? So, I definitely liked it. I'll tell you what, with Goodfellas, I don't know about Casino, but Goodfellas, that's based off of Henry Hill's book, right? So there's some truth there. I've never really gone down the rabbit hole as far as, what family he was with, who did they actually kill, who was in charge, all that shit.
Sure.
Never really went too deep with that. This one, though, I feel like I want to do some a nice little history lesson, not necessarily for the show, but for myself to just read up on who these people were and how all those lines, because there's a lot of intersection of famous people that you're aware of, so definitely want to check it out.
So there's also the movie Hoffa, which Jack Nicholson played Hoffa, and Danny DeVito, I think, was Frank. It was like in the early 90s that they did that.
Let's look it up real quick.
I think it was like 92, if I had to put money on it.
Oh, that long ago? Wow.
Yes.
92.
Damn, I'm good. Not as good of a movie, I don't think, as Irishman by any means, but still not a bad one. The music, I love it. Did you ever play Red Dead Redemption?
Fuck, the second one.
But
the first one.
Most of the music in Irishman was just the harmonica. It was just real light music throughout Irishman. I love that they kept using that. And I mean, let's not also forget, man, like a couple things. One, I love that Pesci, he's just the old guy sleeping in the car. His wife isn't allowed to smoke, but they had to keep stopping all these places, just grabbing envelopes, going out, and that's like making his rounds. But the whole, when he put him in the, he's like, I'm going to sit here while you get in the plane to go do that whole thing. I'm like, he just sat there the whole fucking time. That's what Pesci, that's how big up that, Buffalino was.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
Yeah, they said at one point, he's like, anything that happened had to go through him.
Yep. And
you wanted this, you wanted that, it had to go through him.
So the amount that, like, De Niro's daughter didn't really trust De Niro in some ways, but then she did not like Pesci at all. It, like, you know what I mean? But she loved Jimmy Hoffa. I thought it was a nice extra part to the movie. It showed the soft side of Pacino, how he was. The watermelon. The guy puts all that vodka in the watermelon. He's getting drunk off of it.
No, definitely. That was the weird thing with the daughter, because at first, and they did a good job of, like, when the daughter was older, you could tell.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
she knew.
She knew.
Yeah. And it was, it was creepy at first, because at first I was wondering, like, is there something wrong with this girl? Is something going to happen to her? Is she, like, mentally off or something? But no, the more the movie goes on, you know that she's just, even at a young age, she knows what the hell's going on.
Well, I mean,
and it started with when the shopkeeper,
I was going to say, I mean, he beat the living piss out of the shopkeeper in front of his daughter. So, I mean, that kind of, it probably scared the shit out of her then. She's like, fuck, if he does that, what's he do for a living? I heard he paints houses.
There you go. But it was great, though, that scene where he's beating up the shop owner. It almost looked like Hoffa was, not Hoffa, De Niro. His age showed, even though they made him look younger, because the way he was moving looked like an old man trying to kick people.
Yeah.
It just...
Pesci. the two things with the daughter when he gives her the gift, and then there's money inside it. And De Niro's like, well, say thank you. And he goes, it's okay. She said it once. And I'm like, he could tell.
Mm-hmm.
But my favorite one is the ice, or when they're bowling. And he's like, he tells her that joke about birds hitting their head on the clouds or whatever. And he's like, isn't that funny? She's like, He's like, okay. It's a good one, man. If people have not dove into that one, I would give it a shot. That one and Hateful Eight.
No, Jesus.
Just tell me you watched it, and I don't have to bring it up anymore. I'm just going to make it a topic one day and just start talking about it.
So, don't you fucking dare. I'll fucking throw a curveball at you. So, it looks like in that Hoffa movie, there is no Frank Sheeran character.
Oh, okay.
It looks like DeVito plays Bobby Ciaro.
So, maybe it could be a completely different... either...
Or it's just a pseudonym.
True. Very true.
Yeah.
Not as good of a movie, but, it's all right. I like Pacino as Hoffa. I thought he did a great job.
Absolutely fantastic.
Next week, doing a little bit of a throwback on music in a way. Back when you and I grew up, there were a lot of comedy albums. Not just Jerky Boys, but you had, that's how stand-up used to be back in the day. That's how you listened to a lot of people. That's how I used to. That's how
I've got a shit ton of them on record, on vinyl.
Record was the first time I had ever heard of Sam Kinison. Then I saw the TV stuff. Same with George Carlin, had a lot of that. But not just that, man. You got your Adam Sandler shit. You got there's a lot of fun comedy albums out there, even Tenacious D, things like that. So we'll get into some of that next week, and then from there, the good news. Man, we had 2 pay-per-views on Saturday. Nothing this weekend. That's a good deal. No wrestling.
Thank God.
We'll be back next week. We are the Top of Wrestling. I am the Professor. I bid you a farewell. ODM, take it away.
Thanks, Professor. I was kind of debating on whether to get super deep, and I think I'm going to save it for myself, just because listen, I don't want to get a kayfabe pal. But we talked a lot today. We talked about Money in the Bank. We talked about our truth being back. We talked about some of our favorite movies from one of our favorite directors of all time. We talked about the worst Nitro in history. There's one thing we didn't talk about in this entire episode.
I'm curious.
Kenny Omega dressing as Chun-Li.
Enough said. See you next week.
The Top of Wrestling Podcast is brought to you by The Top of Wrestling Podcast. Your hosts are the Professor Mark Fantasia and ODM The Doc Joe Rizzo. Feel free to reach out to the show by email at thetopofwrestling@gmail.com, on their Facebook page, Twitter page, Instagram page. Remember to subscribe, like, and share. You can listen to the show on most popular platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, Amazon Music, Pandora, and YouTube. Without your continued support, it would be just some guys talking wrestling, which is pretty much what it is anyway. Good night, folks. Oh, fucking yeah.
There's a
Fuck
spider.
Yeah. Spider. In my soul.
You want to use that this week?
Fuck yeah, use that.
All right. That's a funny
shit.
I fucking Duncan always makes me, oh, shit. And it's funny, everybody gets kicked out but Duncan and his crew, which makes me laugh. And then fucking, like, all right, put the bottle in. Take it out.
Yeah, Frank.
I saw just a funny meme the other day that said, it was a picture of him and Artemis, and it said, most underrated couple in TV.
Mm-hmm.
It's
pretty much
just fucking funny.
We gotta try to get
Artemis.
The,
I'm gonna bleach the asshole.
I'll see if I can find the one. It's where Dee's doing the commercial and Charlie's trying to get it to be like a viral moment, and he throws the fucking kickball at her.
Oh shit, you're right, because we need a second one for this week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm crazy, Patty. That's the
We're
one.
We're getting slushy.
See, now that's funny. I love that. Yeah. All right, that's a good one. Oh, man, I'm like, you could also use, hi, you should vote me. Good. Thank you.
Good. Thank you.
Which, speaking of, did you see Chad Gable said that he got his thank you from Charlie's thank you? That's where he first got that he
no shit.
That. Yep, I just read something the other day where it was an interview and he said that. And I was like, that's even fucking better. As he took it from that sunny moment.
Yeah, I love
get
that
a weapon,
one.
everybody get a weapon.
All right, because that was the jihadist one. Yeah,
yeah.
I like the one where when Charlie's filming it, he's mouthing it too. He goes, "Good."
I love that one.
Thank you.